Hi, good evening, Ravi.
Could you please open the PPT with
Yeah,
list of
okay.
questions on topic names?
Yeah, okay. I will share my screen.
Okay.
Okay. In PPT, user variable. User variable acts as a filter in forms. It can be certain variables in certain members. Okay, user variable. It can be, you can set the user variable in limit number of members in focus on filter to the user variables. In this topic, we will be able to show such use of user variable in the following artifacts: data forms, runtime prompts, business rules, and smart view. And the how to creation of user variables, and what is the use of the user variable. In the use of the user variable, you can set the number of limited number of members, can helping the users focus on the filter to certain members. Okay. What is the difference between the user variable and substitution variable? Substitution variable acts as a global placeholders for information changes. That changes can be regularly. In substitution variable is fixed. No need to any creation and modification of user variable in users. In substitution variable, can create and manage the admin only. In user variable can create the user in manage the users to the members. You can set the preferences in the user. And which use case do we use user where over the substitution variable? In it creates the user variables called as a division of entity dimension, which user member can be it's their own division of entity dimension. And for example, user can in user variables can access the application in user can prefer the presenting the USA. And here to in this scenario, I had to user variable user can take the entity dimension. In entity dimension, it occur to create the two members in the user variable. And can you show me how to use the create a user variable from the following use cases? Since we don't have list of users in the application, try to explain however how variables behaves using the admin user only by using the use case assumption below. And assume user 1 the owner of two entities, and those two entities value of the entity dimension. Okay, I will show the navigation. Okay, I will show the navigation and go to the home page, and then click on the navigator. Under the tool cluster, here the variables are there. Click on variables, and here user variables, and I created the one new user variable. And here the dimensions are there. In this scenario, I take the entity dimension. In entity dimension, here the give the user name. Here the give the user 2, name is 2. And here to select the two members, here total geography, segments, en01 France and UK, and click on OK, and then save. Your record will be saved successfully. After you successfully go to the navigator to assign the user, to set the user preferences in user variable. Here the user variable, actually I created the user variable. Here the entity user2, and give the assign one member. Here total geography, segments, the restriction of two entities, I assign the one entity. Here I give the AN01 entity France. Click on OK and save. User preferences have been saved. Click on navigator, under the forms, Okay, sorry, once again, once go to the PPT. Okay, is coming to the fourth slide. You reuse any of the data forms and show me how to use the user variable as per use case 1 from the slide 3. In I show the navigation. Go to the navigator under the create and manage cluster under the forms card there. Open the forms card and click the variable under the data forms. Under the data forms, here the substitution variable are there, and click on edit. The form is open and click on layout. Under the layout, in this scenario point of view, actually and entity currency is a currency and no movement is a movement, and entity input is a consolidation, and product is a no product. And here the periodic dimension is a view is a periodic dimension, and the intercompany is a no intercompany, and data source is a data input, and multi-gap is a multi-gap, and I have to use the rows in accounts and total assets, and here two columns are there. Here the columns in a period and a year, and here two entity is there, and I will change the entity in a user variable in the any user variable, and click on remove first and go to the variables in the entity dimension, and I take the user 2 and click on add and click on OK. Is user variable is add, and save the form. Click OK and preview the form. Yeah, en01 in France is the displayed on the form, and go to the PPT, and here should user one supposed to access any entities other than the two entities is the owns in the data form. No, it cannot be access any of other entities, restriction of two entities in the data form. Okay, user requirement, can you show me how to enable the dynamic variable? Okay, I will show the in how to enable the dynamic variable in the form. Here the other options are there. Click on other options, and here to enable the dynamic user variable, and here to remove the user one, and I add the user two and save. This is the process of how to enable the dynamic user variable. The form is saved, and close the form and go to the navigator, and when the data form is saved, sorry, second point, take any parent entity and example, show how only the children of the data that the parent entity has been filtered in the data form. Okay, I will show the navigation. First of all, go to the user variable and change the members in user 2. Here the remove, first of all remove the members and select the total geography under the segments, and the en01 fx level 0 entities I will take it. It's can taken, it's can OK, and click on save. Record save successfully. OK, and have to go to and I have to go to forms. Under the forms library, in data forms, substitution variable is there. Click on edit and preview the form, and here the user variable, and click on user variable, and here the segments is there. Here this is the en01 is the parent one, these four is the children's. Okay, I will select the en02 en02 is the children, and click on OK. I taken the children one, and here to display the en01 to UK, and I click on close. Click on close form and go to the navigator. And fifth one, usage of user in where user variable in RTP in runtime prompts. Runtime prompts are runtime prompts are dynamically customized. The POV point of view of the user can be working. It can be focused on the calculation and aggregates the values. And in a runtime prompts you can working the in a variable. And can we use user variable in RTP? Yes, we can yes, use the user variable in RTP. Can you limit the user variable in RTP to be able to restrict the user one access the entities and shown, and use the RTP BR and shows me how it's work. Okay, I will go to the navigation. Go to navigation under the navigator and create and cluster rules cards are there. Under the rules card. Okay, in a calculation manager, is open in a couple of times, is open. Here the system view. Under the actions, click on actions and click on the user variable designer. Under the user variable designer, EPM cloud, elaborate the user EPM cloud and click on the global variable. And here to create a new, if the name is RTP, I given the RTP entity 2. Okay, type is member. And here to type dimension type is I have choose the entity. And RTP, I enable the RTP when I run the runtime prompts. And here to give the ampersand user 2. And I also limit the user 2. Okay, and I give the RTP, please enter the entity, and click on save. Is variable will be saved successfully in the creation of the RTP runtime prompts. And go to the sixth slide. And here the can you show me how to use the user variable in business rule, and can you explain the what advantage that the uses of user variable and sub variable in a business rule? Can you explain with the following recommended and not recommended to the entity in hard coding entity, using user variable entity, using sub variable entity, using RTP entity? Okay, I will show the navigation in the business rule. In a system view, go to the system view, elaborates the EPM cloud and elaborates the application. And here the console, elaborate the consoles. And here under the console, here the rows cards are there. In rows cards FI10 to FI61, it is the default one, it is a system generation one. And here to create a new rule in a new actions, go to the actions and new object. Here the application type is EPM cloud and application is Previn. And cube is console and object type is rule. And click on name. I give the name here, the rule, I give the name rule 4. Okay, click on OK. Click on OK. Is rule 4 is created under the opening for editing. Is opening now. We create and opening the for editing the purpose of for the rule. And here I give the syntax in caps lock I fix. Here they give the entity is a hard coded one. Is here the manually entered one, and here the end fix. I will end the entity hard coded. Okay, and then enter, and also I give the user variable fix ampersand user user 2 and end fix fix ampersand and give the here the use the substitution variable current month, enter end fix and fix, and also I give the RTP. Okay, RTP also fix RTP, and here the parenthesis basis give the RTP underscore entity 2 entity 2 and end the entity into the RTP runtime prompt entity. Here the fix, and here the best way to here the entity is it is a hard coded one, it is the manually entered, and it is a user variable, user variable can enter, and here the substitution variable enter, and RTP entity, here the RTP entity I already give the user variable. This is the best way to recommend it to recommendation for rule, and here I give the /s/star and give the star ash, and after I will save and validate the rule. Here the starting the validation again is the planning of the server. Here to validate the rule, and then after validate the rule you have to deploy the here the validate successfully the no errors. This can be saved to save the file, and here to hidden the entity, and I will go to deploy the rule in application. Here to deploy, click on OK. Here they deploy the rule in the application. Is deploy processor is running. Here the deploy objects deploy process is running, and deployment was successful, and click on OK, and then after go to the application. Here to go to the application, here the rules cards are there, and the rules were open, and here the business rule, and the refresh once again and coming to last slide here the rule 4 are created the business rule. Here they click on launch, and at the here the RTP is for give the RTP in a business rule. Here the display the please enter the entity and click on entity, and here the total geography segments. Here the only one members are there, and I give the limit. I give the limit in user variable. That's why it displayed only one member. Then click on OK and cancel. This is the process of this slide, and seventh one is the and using user variable in a smart view. Okay, I will go to the navigation, and here go to Excel sheet, new one. I take the new Excel sheet. New Excel sheet under the smart view. Here panel, click on panel, and under the share connection, private connections are there. Click on shared connections. Okay, I will give the credentials. Default cloud admin, and the password is EPM DEM0S. You can go. Okay, once again. Okay, EPM default cloud admin. Here give EPM DEM0S. Okay, login is successful. Under the EPM cloud, here the application preview, and click on library. Under the data forms, I have one form in Geo. Click on Geo and ADA analysis. Click on ADA analysis. Here to change the user variable, how to use the user variable in a smart view. Here I give the user variable in LE02. Here I give the user variable ampersand user2. Okay, and then enter and click on refresh. Yeah, here to change the en01 le02 en01, here the user variable can be changed. This is the process of how to use the user variable in a smart view. Okay, let's coming to the 8th slide. In this topic, you have concluded the show uses of the user variable in the following artifacts. Here the data forms, how to use the variable in data forms, RTP runtime forms, and business notes and smart view. This is the process. And thank you, lovely.